There has been more music news this week that I feel like we should definitely cover.
The shot heard around the world, dude.
The shot heard around the world. Just waking up that on, what was it?
I think
just
it
like
was Sunday or Saturday, yeah.
Just everyone just texted me like, you gotta say something about this, and I was like, just half asleep, like, this is perfect.
IQMB releases an official statement.
This is perfect.
This is perfect.
But yeah, we're talking about the Jane's Addiction the onstage fight that happened this past weekend.
The Jane's Affliction.
The Jane's Affliction. Yeah. Perry's Addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough. If anybody who hasn't seen it, they're playing Ocean Size. First time that the original lineup of Jane's has been together since like 2010, I think.
Yeah, this is like their reunion tour, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because Eric Avery came back for the last tour, but Dave Navarro was out for long COVID. So this was the first time that they've had the original lineup since 2010. I don't think they're that far into the tour. It's
I don't
only
think
a few dates.
Yeah.
And so that show was in Boston. Apparently there were rumblings of some tension at the New York show, like the night before. And then they're in the middle of Ocean Size. Perry starts yelling and then just punches Dave Navarro, who looks at him with this face of like, another bag you're going to just stomp all over.
Yeah. He was like, I'm just trying to get paid here, brother.
Yeah, it's just like, we're 60.
We're not friends anymore, man.
Yeah.
Don't take your anger out in therapy. That's where you can bitch about this stuff. Don't punch me on stage.
And he's like, he has like crow makeup
on. He's fully Navarro.
He is Navarro'd out.
Yeah,
he's the
fully,
scarecrow.
This is a guy that's getting shot in the head. He's in
master.
full mode.
Yeah.
I watched the video. It's so like captivating to watch because like Parry Ferrell is just singing, like he's singing the song, and then just all of a sudden he gets real jacked up. You could see like the energy come in him, and then he just goes over and like shoves Navarro a little bit, and then Navarro like doesn't. He just thinks like he's
it's punk rock.
It's punk rock. He's just shoving me, being a bandmate. And then the shove, I think, like, he looks at him.
It was a shove.
And then Navarro, you can tell, looks at Perry, and I think he goes, like, what's the matter? Like, it looks like he just has no idea what's happening, and there was really no, like, inkling of this happening, but, like,
yeah, there was no, like,
making
inciting
there was
incident. It was like they were mid-song, Navarro shredding.
Yeah.
And then, like,
Navarro finishes shredding, too,
he does.
which is the coolest part.
He finishes shredding, and then Perry Farrell like becomes a feral animal. Like his eyes are wide, he's jumping around, and then he punches him.
Mm-hmm. But the most limp dick punch I've ever seen in my life.
Navarro does a little bit of a guitar. He like kind of shields himself with his PRS.
Yeah.
And total professional. He like turns the volume down. He's like, I know this isn't gonna be good, so volume down. I'm gonna go set this down.
Don't taint my sound like this.
Yeah.
And then Perry, like, it takes like 4 people, like swarm Perry to like get him to stop, and then the rest of the band just looks like, yep, another
this
one.
is it.
Eric Avery comes over to like restrain him, and you can tell, and I think Perry Farrell's wife also said it in like a statement after the whole thing happened, that Eric Avery like punched Perry Farrell like 5 times in the stomach or something like that.
She said that he took some cheap shots, which I don't know.
I watched the video.
Oh, did he?
He definitely does. You can tell. You can tell he comes over and he's just like, like real quick, and you're like, oh.
He's been waiting to do that since like 1991.
It cost me $60K on this show, dude.
Because from my understanding, that's where most of the animosity has been between those two.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I think so, because they started the band originally. They were like the two originators.
Yeah.
Stephen Perkins and Dave Navarro came over from another band. Okay. And Perry Farrell just seems like he's impossible to be in a band with.
Oh, yeah. Just look at him.
Has he had past incidences?
I'm not sure if he's had past incidents, but I mean, I think he's had. Has he?
I mean,
I don't know much about Jane's Addiction.
From my understanding, most of the it's mostly been like personal differences between the band members that have broken it up, but most of the personal differences seem to be
from
everybody else versus Perry.
Damn.
Narcissist.
Yeah.
I think it was on their first album, Nothing Shocking. He came to them and was like, I should get half of the royalties because I write the lyrics, and then I also want a quarter for the music. So I get 62.5%, and then you guys split the... that was the first time that they broke
awesome.
up?
Yeah.
And that was like in 1988?
Yeah.
Before they even became big?
You guys are going to get nothing, and I'll get more than half. I mean,
and do equal amounts of work.
And I'm sure Navarro's made a good living just being the cool
being
guy
Navarro.
on TV.
Yeah.
Dude.
I don't know much about Jane's Addiction, but I do know Dave Navarro's hosting abilities.
Yes.
Between the Ink Master, and Rockstar.
Rockstar in Excess, which if you don't know that show, it's fully on YouTube. Go and watch. He was also in Rockstar Supernova. And I think like someone in Rockstar Supernova like dropped out of that band and like Navarro became a member of that band. I can't remember what exactly happened.
Was it Gilby?
It might have been Gilby.
Our boy
that
Gilby
dropped out, and they're like, "Dave, you're already here.
Just pick up the axe, brother."
He's kind of filling a similar but lesser void to as Jacoby Shaddix, you know?
Yeah, kind of. He was kind of the band. He was the VH1 Jacoby.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where Jacoby was for MTV. So if you know VH1, you know Navarro.
Of course.
You know he's
what they need to do
a slick guy.
Is with Perry, get rid of him and then do what everybody wants, which is bring Aaron Lewis in and make Stained...
Well, how is Aaron
Wait, and make Stained Addiction.
Now you sold me on the name, okay?
Boom.
Dude, immediately, we're like, why Aaron Lewis?
Oh, a dumb name.
Because that's brilliant.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
Get him in there.
I wouldn't mind a Rockstar Jane's Addiction.
That would
where like Dave Navarro is both hosting and trying to find a new lead singer for his band.
Those shows were so good. I remember being on vacation as a kid and being like, I don't want to go to the beach. I want to watch Rockstar Supernova tonight. I was just like, I'm not going anywhere.
Your dad's like, I didn't pay $2.99 a night so you could watch Rockstar Supernova.
Dude, my dad was like, I agree. My dad was so into that show.
Who was all in the Rockstar Supernova? It was
Gilby Clarke, Jason Newsted, and Tommy Lee.
Okay.
Sick.
And I think Gilby Clarke dropped out and they got Navarro. I could be wrong on that, but I kind of remember that.
Gilby Clarke, the ultimate hired gun
of
all time.
Yeah. But what was I going to say? So... yeah, the Jane's Addiction thing. So the fight happens. Everyone's like, what is this about? That's crazy that he just kind of like flipped in the middle of the show and went nuts. And then it was like, you hear about how they had some problems at previous shows. I saw some videos where Perry Farrell was like, he was not able to sing whatsoever.
Oh, wow.
Or he just sounded terrible. And I think they had to stop one of their shows previously before the fight, because he like had to give a statement and be like, something's wrong with my voice, I got to get off stage, like fully Vince Neil. And then apparently, from what his wife said in that statement, he was angry because, and this is such a narcissist move and reason to start a fight on stage and ruin your whole fucking thing, was that the instruments were too loud over top of his voice.
And he couldn't hear them.
Nice.
Hear it. But if you
Which
listen,
was Dave Navarro's fault.
It was
Dave Navarro was
fault
also
only.
the engineer.
Yeah.
So that's who I'm going to take out my anger on.
And also, apparently, he was going on some rants during some of their shows that were going on for too long, and they like kind of became like nonsensical. I didn't see any videos of those, and I don't know what he said. But apparently, during Ocean Size, sorry. They were Ocean Avenue.
Ocean Eyes.
Yeah, that's really where it got.
Apparently, while they were covering Ocean Avenue, I guess they were like speeding it up possibly to avoid another like rant and or
because it is like a jammy
speech.
like 6-minute long song.
Yeah, I think they were from what I read, they were trying to speed it up to like kind of get him to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean.
That's awesome.
I know that he's had struggles with drugs in the past, but he just looked drunk to me.
Yeah, he looked fucked up to me, too.
My bandmate is a huge Jane's Addiction fan. I'm not the biggest Jane's Addiction fan. I like them. I'm, like, allergic to funk elements in rock.
Too. Yeah.
Like, when I hear that, like that kind of guitar.
Yeah.
Navarro, beast. Love his guitar playing.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get back to that. But from what I understand, like part of the show is Perry getting loaded on stage. Like,
Okay, so people kind of go
It's like the
to
act.
see that. Yeah.
yeah, like I think my bandmate took a shot of tequila from a bottle that Perry had on stage.
That's awesome.
Nice.
And he was like, "Hell yeah,
Yeah,
rock
that's,
and
That's
yeah,
the
roll."
that's
coolest
the
thing.
dream.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was more fallout from the fight. It wasn't just the video. Like, they canceled the tour.
Yeah.
They're done.
They put out a statement as the band, and then Dave, Eric Avery, and Stephen Perkins put out their own statement. And then I think Perry Farrell put out his own statement. And then I think they did another statement as a band to cancel the rest of the tour.
Yeah,
That's a lot of notes app posts.
That is a
folks.
lot of notes.
that's a lot.
That's
Yeah.
a
Dave
whole
Grohl,
IG
for
pro-
shame.
That's a whole Instagram profile grid.
That really is. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the right move. I mean, it just kind of goes to show that, like, if you're like, there's been so many reunions happening in the past couple years, I feel like, and it just goes to show that when it's done, it's done. You know, don't try to revive the dead corpse.
And I think it also says something that there are a ton of bands who you would say they'll never get back together again.
Yeah.
But they had found a way to shut up and take the money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses is like the biggest one that I can think
Yeah.
of where you're like, they'll never get back together. They hate each other. And now they've been touring for like almost 10 years
Yeah.
at this
Yeah,
point.
it's crazy.
Just collecting bag after bag. There is something about this lineup that just does not work.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I think from like 86 to 91 was the original stretch. And most people, like, big Jane's fans are like, Jane's Addiction ended in 1991,
Yeah.
like after Ritual. And then, you know, you had all these different bassists, and they would only last for like short little periods of time.
Yeah.
And like the last reunion they did with everybody, I think lasted 2 years before they were like, okay, we've had enough of this. I think it might be just time to
It's time to
say
hang it up.
it's over.
It is kind of cool that even like, I mean, not cool, but I guess just like a selfish fan, from a selfish fan perspective, it is kind of cool to like be able to go to like a reunion show for a band, and like you'd think it'd go like the Guns N' Roses where it's just going to be like they're all going their separate ways after the show, but this one is like there's still some like some
Yeah.
bitter fucking tension between
Yeah.
these guys. Like that's kind of awesome in
when
itself.
when I was watching that video, I was thinking, what would it be like to be at a show
Yeah.
like this, where you're watching like, you know, at one point one of the biggest bands
Yeah.
in alternative rock, just it all coming to a
Yeah.
head right there on
Imploding.
stage, just
Yeah.
because I think there's been. You know, like physical altercations between members of this band in the past, but it was
Yeah.
like in the 90s or the
Yeah.
80s where, you know,
There weren't iPhones in the
Yeah.
crowd and
Yeah.
stuff.
only the people with the whiskey.
Yeah.
could
Yeah,
be
there
like,
was
I
like
saw-
different angles of this
Yeah,
one.
oh
too.
my
Yeah.
god. Yeah. So yeah, I agree. In a selfish kind of asshole way,
Yeah.
I was like, man, that would be so cool
It's
to be
so
there to
wild.
see something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, you're not. That's not on the bingo card for that
No,
night. Like
no.
on the set list, Perry fights
Yeah.
Dave.
You
Yeah.
think you're just gonna go see like a ball, you know, just a fucking
Yeah, I hope they play-
assless Jane's Addiction show
Yeah.
with no spirit or anything in it.
No,
they're
they
just
all hate
going
each
through the
other.
motions, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
but you see Perry Farrell like, your guitar's too loud.
Yeah. It's like, I
that's
hope they
amazing.
play Just Admit It, Ted, and I also hope Perry Farrell knocks out Dave Navarro.
It's funny the music they're doing it to too. If it was like I Hate God or something,
Yeah,
or
that
like
would be-
Nails, that would make a lot of sense for just a brawl to break out
Yeah.
on stage. Ben Costello.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Oh my
What
god.
was I gonna say?
Good for them.
Fuck, I
Not
had something
really.
to say and I can't remember. Oh, it was kind of weird to me how big of a reaction people had to this. Like, I don't know, but does it seem weird to you? Like,
It
there was
seems-
so much fallout from this. Everyone's so fucking shocked and surprised, and not even just looking at it from like, oh, it's Jane's Addiction. You know, of course there might be a fight. Like, I didn't even know about any of that, but I feel like there's been on stage fights that have happened like in recent years that no one gave a shit about that
Trying
much.
to
I
think
think
of
it's
any.
because it was Navarro.
Maybe.
And Navarro, probably more people at this point know Dave Navarro as guy on TV
Yeah.
than they do guitarist from Jane's Addiction.
Yeah.
Like, if he would have punched Eric Avery, I don't
It probably
know
would
if
have
it
been.
would have been the same.
Yeah.
But
That's
like,
probably true. Now
And
that I
also,
think
it
about
seems
that.
kind of one-sided in that there was one aggressor and one guy that's just doing his job for the
Yeah.
night and wasn't able to do so.
And it is how Dave carried himself. Like
Yeah.
Dave came off like a total Chad.
That's
like,
what I was
oh,
just
shit,
gonna
dude.
say. If there's anything this video did, it's made me love Dave Navarro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't really ever love Navarro. But
he's
was,
always just kind of had that like LA guy,
Yeah.
like cool LA guy
like
who
top
might
hat
hit on
and
your
shit.
girlfriend and you're
Yes.
just gonna have to take it because
such a pro though. I mean, he finished soloing. He like
rolled
asked,
off the volume.
Yeah, he asked Perry, "What's the matter?" He was like, he looked concerned. He was like, "What's the matter?" And he didn't even like fight back. He was just like pushing him away, just like just assessing the situation. Like,
Yeah.
is there something wrong with him? But he doesn't say. You could tell he doesn't fucking say anything.
No.
like he's just waiting for it to be
For it
over
to be
so he
done.
can leave. Yeah,
It's probably not the first time that this has happened to him.
probably not.
From that guy.
Probably happened that night
Yeah.
before they
Yeah.
went on stage.
And it does make me wonder what kind of contract they have for the tour.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Because, I'm sure there's like an insurance company or something
Yeah.
that has to like put up a bunch of money if like something like this doesn't
Pay
happen.
back all those tickets, and then like
Yeah.
Ticketmaster has to fork up a bunch of money that they took in fees, so they
Yeah.
take a huge loss. The venues do.
And I wonder if those guys had like some sort of clause that if Perry fucks this up,
It's fine.
we get some money.
the
That would be
insurance
tight.
on Perry Farrell.
The
Yeah.
douchebag
Yeah.
clause.
We got the Perry Farrell insurance.
Well,
we
it's
got the PFC, the Perry Farrell clause.
It sounds like Dave is in looking for a job, and I would like to be the first from IQMB to offer him a seat on this panel.
Just to come
If
back
you'd
and
like
be
to
a
hang
host.
out.
Do the other thing you're good at and be
You
a
can
host.
take
on this
my
show.
spot if you
Just
want. I'm willing to relinquish the wicker chair to you.
To give- yeah,
No,
that'd be
I
great.
just want like a cold open 30 seconds of like, hey everybody, it's Dave
Yeah.
Navarro from
It's
I
Dave
Quit
Navarro.
My Band. We're gonna
Yeah.
throw it over to the
You
guys.
Yeah.
think that you do? You,
He's just like black velvet curtains behind him, and he just like shouts out the Patreon. He's just like, "It's Dave from Jane's Addiction. If
And-
you really like these guys, go check out the Patreon."
That's a decent Dave
Just
Navarro.
peace. Yeah,
Honestly-
like that's what he does. He's just like, "Hey,
do you
Just
think
a
that he's
sexy
on
guy.
Cameo?
no, dude, he's
Let's
got too
save.
much pride."
Let's save like 3 months Patreon
if
and
it
buy
yeah.
a Cameo.
If he is on Cameo, we will have him do that.
or a
that's
Vince
awesome.
Neil one.
Or a Vince Neil.
Hey Decker,
Decker.
go watch it. I quit my band.
But it just makes me think we should have just the ultimate Chads up on the wall, dude.
I
Just
think
got,
we should
like,
have a Hall of Fame of Chads.
We got to have Chad Kroger,
Of course.
Navarro,
That's it.
and I think that might be it.
Yeah, we'll add more as we get them.
Just two like busts, like just,
I
like,
just want to
right here and there.
If we could have a Dave Navarro bust, that would be so sick.
I will look for a Dave
Yeah.
Navarro bust tonight.
That's cool.
When you guys leave, and I will
like
order
that.
it.
You might want to watch that Google search. Dave Navarro,
Navarro
bust. You might want to. I know you spent some time with Carbon Electra. Things could get wild.
Yeah. Well, make sure not to type busts, plural.
Dave Navarro bust. It's so funny.
I didn't
Oh,
get what I was
God.
looking for.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
wife is just like, what? What are you Googling?
You have something you need to tell me?
Yeah. I think we're good on Jane's.
Yeah.
But,